Shalom and happy Feast of Tabernacles 2022. And I'd like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Paradash. Double honors to the elders, apostles of great millstone, preaching the word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through four corners of the globe, preaching the word, truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word, truthfully and sincerely. And I say shalom to you Akim out there. And this is a quick sit-down lesson through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Shai on this Feast of Tabernacles, September the 11th, 2022. On this Sunday morning, 11:03 a.m. Central Standard Time. And this is a news article. And I just did a video about, the earthquakes in diverse places. Because it had hit Indonesia like, 3 times? Because at first, it had hit it with a 6.3 magnitude of an earthquake. And then they say it was times where it was like a 5.1, 5.1, 5.1, 5.4, and then like a 5.9. Then it went all the way into a 6.3. So it happened all at the same location. Then they mentioned it happened in Papua New Guinea / Indonesia. Now, a day later, you have a magnitude of a 7.6 quake, a magnitude of an earthquake. And I did mention it. I was saying, in that video about when Indonesia got hit with a 6.3 magnitude earthquake. And I was saying that in the latter days you might have a higher increase of magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places, from a number from 6.7 to 7.0, 7.1, 7.3, 7.5. Now, after I mentioned, it was going to be a potential 7.5. Now you have it right here, a 7.6, which I was like, wow, after I seen the news article, I was like, wow, these earthquakes in diverse places are definitely in the high magnitudes of the numbers of earthquakes in diverse places are definitely increasing. And this is a news article right here from Salakia, from Nick Perry of Today. And this is from the Associated Press. And the highlight of this news article, and it reads, three dead after a 7.6 quake hits remote part of New Guinea, Papua New Guinea. And it says Associated Press from Wellington, New Zealand. And at least 3 people are dead after a powerful earthquake hit a remote part of Papua New Guinea Sunday morning. Authorities said others were injured in infrastructure damages in the magnitude of a 7.6 joint that was felt across the Pacific country. And it says 3 people died in a landslide in a gold-mining town of Guam. It said Morobab Provincial Disaster Director Charles Lee Machinus. Other people have been injured from falling structures of the burst that was damaged to some health centers, homes, and royal roads and highways. And the Machinus told the Associated Press. The Machinus said it could take some time to access full extent of the injuries and damages in the region, but he said that the dispersed and the scattered population of the lack of large buildings near the epicenter in the nation's largely undeveloped highlands may have helped prevent a bigger disaster, given the earthquake was so strong. Salakia had to repeat that. And it says, one resident from the town close to the epicenter described the ordeal to the Associated Press. Ranjini Ravu was meeting with two colleagues at his home in a canto when the quake struck. Ravu tried to stand up from his chair but couldn't maintain his balance. End up in a kind of group hug with his colleagues while plates and cups crashed from his shelves to ground. He said his children, ages 9 and 2, had their drinks and breakfast spilled over. And says Raffle, who was a geologist, said he tries to calm everybody as the shaking continues for the more than a minute. Ravu said that about 10,000 people live in around his town, which is located 66 kilometers or 41 miles from the quake's epicenter. It says his people were feeling rattled. It's a common thing that quakes are felt here, but it's unusually doesn't last as long as it's not as violent as the one. Ravi said it was quite intense. It says Ravi was sorting through the damage to his home, which he said is likely include a broken sewer pipe. Judging from the smell, he said it says friends elsewhere in Canton has messaged with him description of the cracked roads, broken pipes, and the falling dispersed, but haven't described major building collapse or injuries. They are starting to clean up their house and the streets, he said. Communication seems to have been affected, he added, with some shell towers likely to fall. A magnitude of a 7.5 earthquake in 2018 in the nation's central region killed at least 125 people. That quake hit areas that are remote and undeveloped. Assessments about the scale of the damage injuries was close to the filter out. Felix Turan, a seismologist and a geophysical observation team in the capital port of Morsaba, said it was too early to know the full impact of Sunday's earthquake, although its strength means the most likely cause considerable damage. It says, according to the U.S. Geological Survey, the quake hits at 9:46 local time at a depth of 90 kilometers, 56 miles, and a NOAA advised there was no tsunami threat for the region. Papua New Guinea is located in the eastern half of the island of New Guinea, to the east of Indonesia, and north of East Australia. It's the site of on the Pacific Ring of Fire, the arc of Semitic faults around the Pacific Ocean, where most of the world of earthquakes and volcanoes activity occurs. So yeah, in the latter days, earthquakes in diverse places definitely increasing. And I'll bring out a scripture. And this is in red letter, Yahweh Shai speaking. This is the book of Luke, chapter 21, verse 11, in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, "And great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven," right? Because we see great signs from heaven as well, too. You see a lot of dust storms, hailstorms, and you see large hailstorms size as a golf ball. I believe they had a story about like a couple of weeks ago it was like a 2-year-old or a 5-year-old kid got hit with a large hail ball, and it injured her so badly. So, hey, Heavenly Father, bring these heavy floodings, these heavy storms, these landslides, mudslides, tsunamis, hurricane, as we currently entering hurricane season, and these earthquakes in diverse places, increasingly more and more and more now than ever. So you're going to see these things continually to take place on the planet Earth. And then I'm going to bring out Isaiah 29:6. So yeah, these high magnitudes of earthquakes in diverse places is going to continue more and more and more, Especially we entering hurricane season as well too. As I mentioned in my video a couple of days ago, I did a video about the fully developing of Hurricane Earl, which can cause some significant damage as well too. And I believe there was another developing system of another hurricane possibly, but I forgot what location it was. But since now that hurricane season is definitely approaching, this is the book of Isaiah, chapter 29, and verse 6. Verse 6 in the Holy Scriptures, and it reads, "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord of hosts with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise and with storms and tempests and the flames of the devouring fire." Right, because we see the volcano erupts, heavy weather droughts, record high breaking weather of heat. We've seen this summer so far as we entering fall of hurricane season. These are heavy storms, these are heavy floodings, these heavy landslides, these heavy mudslides, heavy hail dropping down, heavy rains, like 3 to 4 feet of rain can cause some significant damage, some significant floodings in areas in different countries and around the world. These are heavy magnitudes of increase of numbers of earthquakes in diverse places. As you've seen, a 7.6 earthquake hit the region over there in Papua New Guinea, So yeah, these things are definitely going to increase more and more and more, Expect to see more high winds blowing at rapid speed, especially when these tsunamis and earthquakes and storms continue to develop, and these earthquakes in diverse places gonna increase more than ever, So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai is definitely visiting this place which he made with these heavy damaging thunderstorms. As I mentioned to you in my previous videos, like 14 or 15 people died so far this year, let alone of these thunderstorms, because innocent kids got hit with these thunderstorms, innocent family members, so that's the power of the Heavenly Father, he's a extremely powerful being, and it has nothing to do with Mother Nature or climate change or whatever. This is the will of the work of the Lord, of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, is the one that's doing these things on the planet Earth, and he's going to continue to visit this world which he made, That's why I brought out Isaiah 29:6. "Thou shalt be visited of the Lord with hosts, with thunder and with earthquakes and great noise and tempest and the flaming of the devouring fire." Because you're going to continue to have these volcano erupts, these heavy droughts, these heavy floodings, these heavy landslides, these heavy storms, these are heavy earthquakes, these heavy tsunamis, these are heavy increase of earthquakes in diverse places, a high increase of a number of magnitudes of these earthquakes around the world. So these things are definitely going to increase more and more and more, So with that, I hope this sit-down lesson was edifying through the spirit, power, grace, and mercy of Yahweh Yahushua. And first and foremost, I like to give all praises and glory and honor to Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, Bahashem, Wakakadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles of great wisdom, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, scattered through the four corners of the globe, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And shalom to the Akim, that be like unto the speckled bird, preaching the word truthfully and sincerely. And until next time, I will say a happy feast of tabernacles and Salakia. Happy Feast of Tabernacles 2022. And I say Shalom and the Ball.